Hi everyone, this is Charmene from Fantastic Crafts. I hope all of you have had a wonderful Easter and are having a wonderful Wednesday. Today we're going to be doing a card that is a little similar to a card I've done before with the gears, but I'm going to show you a different way to get texture on your cardstocks or your shapes. So let's get started. I start with a Rust Effect paste. It's the Gold Rust, and this is a Prima product. And it is really neat. It's a paste, and you need to work on a mat that will wipe off easily. So any kind of craft mat would do it. I use this particular one because that's what I had. And you kind of have to mix it a little, not too much, just so, sometimes the paint and the pigments kind of separate. So you want to just mix it up a little bit. And I just went ahead on a black cardstock. Actually, this was a scrap piece of cardstock, but I ended up liking it so much I used it anyway. So I just kind of started putting the paste onto my paper, and you can see I then went with the red rust, the same product but in red rust, and a brown rust as well, and I just kind of put it all over that piece of cardstock, and it's really neat the effect you get. And you would think this takes a long time to dry, but it really doesn't. It is very quick to dry. And here you can see me going in with that brown and doing the same exact thing. I mix it up a little bit, and then I just put it on. And with the brown, I also mixed a little bit of the gold, just because I wanted it a little bit more deep. I wanted a copper, but it didn't work out that way, but it's okay. You still get that same effect. But what happens when I put this mixture of a paste, all over this background is it makes this cardstock look and feel like leather. I kid you not. When it's dry, which doesn't take too long, it is such a neat texture. You can bend this piece of cardstock. You can try to tear it. It won't tear. The one thing is, it is a little difficult to die cut, but it is doable. But it is difficult. The other thing I did after I put that little mixture paste that I created on, I just kind of rubbed it with my fingers. You can use any other tool you have, but I just wanted to use my fingers. And you can see all three colors coming out, and that is exactly what you want, or what I wanted. And that's what gives this really nice, how leather just has these different colors engraved in it, and just different pattern. You could really make this do anything you'd like. Sorry about that. I almost dropped my coffee, and you don't want that to happen. No one wants that to happen. So when I do that, I get this really nice leather look, and I was so impressed. And by this time, by the way, it's already dried. You can see me going over with my finger, and it's dried. Then I take this Eyes Ink pigment ink, and this is this gold metal kind of look, color, and I just rub it all over, and then that finishes that look with the metallic. Because I wanted gears, you don't have to do this if you just wanted a leather look, but I wanted that metal gear look, so this kind of finishes it off, and I just kind of tapped it all over that background. And if you do get a little bit of color, you can just rub that off on from your ink pad. I cut this paper in half because I didn't need the whole piece of cardstock, so I just cut it in half. And then I took my Big Shot and I started cutting out the gears. And it does take a little bit of time. You have to kind of pass it a few times, or you can put a shim. And this is this Tim Holtz gears by Sizzix. So I just kind of took my paper, put the gears on, and then just ran it on my Big Shot a few times. And like I said, you may want to add a shim or two, just kind of see what your machine does. And every machine is a little different, so yours may do it just in one pass. You may need another pass. But it will cut. Even if it's a little difficult, it will cut. So once I had all those gears cut out, it is now time to assemble our card, and that is as simple or as intricate as you want to make it. I decided to keep it a little simple. Because that paper required a little bit more work, I wanted it to be highlighted. And so I took a matte piece of cardstock, or a layering piece of cardstock, and I wanted to do black because I felt like that those gears would show much more. And I took my art glitter glue and just began to glue. I did that little side panel on the bottom, and then I glued some gears on the top, and now you can see some of my gears have the holes poked out and some don't. And I wanted to do that because I just felt like that would give that old look, that vintage look, and kind of just be like some are rusted over, some are not, just kind of give it a more real look. I did take that ice ink ink pad once again, and I just put it all over my cardstock to just give it a more finished look. Now you can go over your sides with it too and give it a gold look. It would be really nice. I used my Best Dad stamp set by Mamie Made It, and what I simply did was I wrote, "You are the best." Actually, let me look at that card. It says, it says, "I have a hero. I call him Dad." There you go. And I thought that would just be the perfect little sentiment to write on this. And since Father's Day is going to be coming up, I figured I'll get a head start. I know it's a few months away, but sometimes you want to get a head start on some of your cards. So I just did that. I cut those out, and the "I have a hero, I call him," I cut out in a thin strip, and I went with the ice ink and kind of just went around the edges just to give it a more popped look. And I did the same thing with Dad, and I did pop those sentiments up because I just felt like it needed to be popped up. And then I just simply glued this panel onto an A2 size card base, and that completes the card. Isn't that simple? I mean, the assembling part is very simple, and the background paper is pretty simple too. It's the die cutting that can be a little difficult, but like I said, your machine may be different, or you may just need to add a shim. I did not add a shim. I don't know what I was thinking, but I didn't. But you definitely can, and it will cut much better for you. So I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy life and watching my video. I really, really appreciate it. Until next time, everyone, have a great day. Bye.